Ahead on our news tonight, former Water and Sewerage Chairman Adrian Gibson released from police custody, and Prime Minister Davis now breaks his silence on the matter. Homeowners given keys to residences in the new Pinecrest subdivision, a feather in the cap for the Davis administration. And a former Chamber of Commerce executive says $350 may still not be enough for minimum wage. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. Good news coming out of Sandals Resort. Executives there have issued a statement on the installation of carbon monoxide monitors after several guests died recently. We have more on that a little later down in the newscast. Prime Minister Philip Davis was asked about the Adrian Gibson matter as well as the controversy surrounding one of his own sitting cabinet ministers this morning. Our Jasmine Brown has both angles in this report.
We caught up with the Prime Minister on the sidelines of an event here in the Pinecrest subdivision where he had these few words about the Adrian Gibson matter. Any response to his lawyer saying that it was a political target?
I have nothing to say about it. I don't have anything to say. I'll just say this. I have nothing to say about that. The matter is in the hands of the police.
That's Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis' initial response to Long Island Member of Parliament Adrian Gibson being taken into police custody and questioned by investigators about water and sewage corporation matters for hours on Thursday. While in opposition, the PM had repeatedly called for Gibson, who served as WSCS executive chairman under the former minister administration, to be removed from his post. Earlier this month, the PM denied that his administration is conducting a political witch hunt at WSC. Davis also said he will not interfere in the investigation. Today, he's insisting he could not say much since the matter is now in the hands of police.
Whatever they decide, it is in their hands. It's not in my hands. I have no observations to make about it at this time.
The PM was also asked about Minister of Housing and Transport JoBeth Colby Davis. On Wednesday, Colby Davis denied claims that she knocked down a police officer at a carnival event over the weekend. Her denial came after Police Staff Association Executive Chairman Ricardo Walks said in a statement that an officer was assaulted by a female driver during a carnival event on Saturday.
In response to the recent allegations about the Minister of Housing?
While he avoided that question, the PM spoke highly of Colby Davis in her role as housing minister.
JoBeth Colby Davis has come out of the gate running. Just look, in less than 8 months, we already have how many homes built here and more to come.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Amid an ongoing investigation into the Water and Sewage Corporation, former executive chairman Adrian Gibson spent hours in the Central Detective Unit being questioned about the matter. Berthany McDermott was there when Gibson emerged with his legal team and filed this report.
Good afternoon. Mr. Gibson, how did the process go? Do you feel you're being targeted? No?
Long Island Member of Parliament Adrian Gibson taken into custody Thursday for questioning regarding an ongoing probe into the Water and Sewage Corporation. Gibson was accompanied by his lawyers Ramona Farquharson Seymour and former F&M Cabinet Minister Ellsworth Johnson. Police confirmed the former WSC chairman was released Thursday night pending further investigation into the matter at WSC. After being questioned for hours, we understand police were expected to search his home last evening. Farquharson Seymour says she feels her client is being targeted.
Nothing at all. Do you feel like he's being targeted?
Of course. Of course.
Does he stand by his record, though, like what would have happened over his time as executive chairman?
Yes, he does. He does. We'll say more after it's through, but we're taking him now for a search, so we're going to deal with that. The process isn't completed as yet.
Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard previously accused the PLP of targeting Gibson, while former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said the Davis administration is grabbing at straws. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister shot down those claims, saying this is not a witch hunt. F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands was seen at CID Thursday, reiterating the party's support for Gibson.
Free National Movement is fully in support of our member, and let this play out. He is innocent until proven otherwise.
The Long Island MP was one of 7 F&M MPs to win their seat in the last election and the only incumbent who gained support in his constituency. Farquharson Seymour gave this assurance.
Are you prepared to battle it out in court if it comes to that?
Once he keeps me as his counsel, of course.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
The government officially opened Pinecrest subdivision this morning. Pinecrest is an affordable housing development on government land south of Bamboo Boulevard in southern New Providence. Officials say phase 1 of the project will include up to 47 homes. Pinecrest is a private-public partnership between Arawac Homes Limited and the government. According to Minister of Transport and Housing, JoBeth Colby Davis, 3 families received keys to their homes in the new subdivision. Ground was broken 4 months ago. Both Colby Davis and Prime Minister Philip Davis were on hand for this morning's event.
So when we came into office last September, building affordable homes was one of our urgent priorities. We knew it couldn't wait. That's why 8 months into our term, we are able to celebrate here today. Minister Colby Davis led the way with a lot of resourcefulness and determination.
In our blueprint for change, we promise to empower Bahamians by making our economy work for all Bahamians. Under our Homes for Bahamians initiative, we committed to housing as a basic right and to pursue public-private partnerships to develop new subdivisions. The Pinecrest project is a fulfillment of our pledge.
An 18-year-old entrepreneur was one of the first homeowners to be handed the keys to her new Pinecrest subdivision home this morning.
I feel excited. It didn't really kick in yet, but I feel pretty excited. It's all thanks to God and my mom. Like I've been saying all day, she's my biggest motivator. Without her, none of this would be possible. So thank God for blessing me with the mother that I do have, because buddy, it's rough. I just also hope that young people my age and older does get the mindset to own their own property one day. I was saving for a while with the help of my mom, and along with that, it's something that I really wanted to do for a long time. Growing up, my mom always instilled in us that having your own stuff sets you apart from everybody else. You don't have to, no one could throw nothing up in your face. Oh, this my stuff, this mine, etc. No, it was none of that. And she had her first home at 19. I told her I was going to beat her, and I did. So
a $350 weekly minimum wage may still be a challenge, according to former CEO of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, Edison Sumner. Meanwhile, some members of the public tell us what they believe the minimum wage should be. Jared Higgs has more.
About $350, $400. That's minimum. Yeah.
But maybe not in this current economy, according to Sumner, who says many employers are still trying to recover from recent economic downturns.
And how many businesses are still in a state of recovery coming out of, in the cases of Grand Bahama and Abaco, coming out of Dorian, and in the case of everyone else, still coming out of and dealing with this COVID pandemic.
Prime Minister Philip Davis announced on Wednesday that government submitted a proposal to incrementally increase the public sector minimum wage. Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkida says a $250 per week minimum is being looked at.
Do you think the $250 a week is enough? No, that's why I say we need a raise.
I spoke to several members of the public about the minimum wage. Most said it should be $350 per week or $8.75 per hour. Union leaders have long called for a minimum $350 per week wage, saying it is more in line with a livable wage.
I do construction. I make more than that, but basic should be $350. You think that's enough? Like, do you think that someone can live off $350 a week?
In the Bahamas, no, but it's better than $210.
You may not get all the things you wanted, but you'll get some things. That's where you can find one or two little jobs. Otherwise,
yeah. Everything going up, gas going up, food costs is going up, cost of living going up, medicine's going up, medical insurance going up. So.
Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkida says the country's current minimum wage of $210 per week isn't sustainable due to the high cost of living. Halkida says government will be trying to convince the private sector to go along with the minimum wage increase as well.
That they, get the just rewards that they are working for. The question is going to be, whether their employers have the capacity to meet any new demands as far as any wages increases are concerned.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Keep your tennis ready. Take out your walking shoes. But I must caution you to stay focused.
That's Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson issuing a voice note to members as the union has twice rejected government's counterproposal on salaries in a new industrial agreement. The union held 2 general membership meetings in the past 2 weeks and is now threatening industrial action pending the outcome of negotiations. On May 24th, 99% of teachers voted to take industrial action, citing a lack of transparency in the Prime Minister's recent budget communication, among other outstanding issues.
Having communicated with the government's lead negotiator, I'm expecting a revised salary proposal that is reflective of teachers, teachers' aides, librarians, and guidance counselors as professionals. Negotiations will resume next week, Thursday, June 2nd, 2022. So in the spirit of industrial goodwill, the Bahamas Union of Teachers will hold off on industrial action for 1 week. If the salary proposal is unacceptable, it will be rejected again.
Well, Greg is standing by in the Weather Center with a first look at the forecast. Greg?
Thanks, everybody, and welcome to our first look at weather on this final day of the week, Friday, of course, TGIF. Nice conditions outside our studios to get outdoors. Temperatures near the 80-degree mark with just a few clouds. Still have a slight breeze out of the south-southeast at 12 miles per hour, and you'll feel slight temperature. Rather warm, 85 degrees. Satellite view, quiet across the area. That ridge of high pressure still in charge, but it is starting to slide out towards the east, paving the way for a frontal boundary. We do have a prefrontal trough just to the north of the Bahamas. That should swing across the northwest Bahamas late tonight and into tomorrow, with some showers and isolated thunderstorms occurring tomorrow as well. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, after several guests lost their lives at Sandals Exuma property to carbon monoxide poisoning, the hotel has some good news. The head of a union governing body says the government's proposed wage increases for workers are long overdue. That's coming up when Our News returns.
Got wireless dead zones at your house? How about endless buffering? Where you put the Wi-Fi password again? This is Aero. Aero is not just a new Wi-Fi router. Rev customers get the first Wi-Fi system that covers every inch of your beautiful home, improving home coverage, higher speeds, high performance, and connectivity for up to 75 simultaneous devices. Aero. So while you're streaming your favorite show on HBO Max, Aero with Rev gives you the freedom to stay connected while you work, learn, and play at home.
Never think about Wi-Fi again with Aero from Rev. Visit rev.bs/Aero or call 601-8992 to make your Wi-Fi wishes come true.
Sandals Resort says it has installed carbon monoxide detectors in all guest rooms at Sandals Emerald Bay, where 3 American visitors died earlier this month and a 4th became ill. This latest news coming in a statement from the resort 2 days after the Nassau Guardian reported that a pathologist report confirms the tourist died from carbon monoxide poisoning. The statement saying, despite initial speculation, Bahamian authorities have concluded the cause was an isolated incident in one standalone structure that housed 2 individual guest rooms and was in no way linked to the resort's air conditioning system, food and beverage service, landscaping services, or foul play. Ensuring the safety and well-being of our guests and team members is and will always be paramount. Police Commissioner Paul Roll tells Our News he has yet to get the official report, but says it will be released once it's handed to him. The deceased were identified as 68-year-old Michael Phillips, 65-year-old Robbie Phillips from Tennessee, and 64-year-old Vincent Chiarella from Florida. The Prime Minister, during his 2022-2023 budget communication, announcing an increase in social services assistance. Speaking exclusively to Our News, Minister of Social Services Obi Wolshcombe says the increase is in response to the state of affairs in the country due to global inflation. He says too many people are living in dire straits right now.
He has found ways within the budget to provide room for us to increase the provisions we provide across the board. So at the present time, we're looking at increases of about 10% or more. That's from food assistance all the way to rental assistance, electricity. We're going to assist our clients as best we can.
Minister Wolshcombe noting his ministry is looking to partner with more landlords in their efforts to assist those in need.
We do have arrangements with local hotels, apartment owners, but we want more because of the circumstances, the pandemic, Dorian. We've seen poverty levels increase, and so our job is to now put people into facilities, but at the same time work on causing them to move from being dependent to independent.
He adds the RISE program will be introduced within a matter of months.
But Promise was a portion of RISE. That component was pulled out, and that is what we're utilizing now. But the RISE program is a graduating program. It's a program where you can, in fact, monitor how the families are moving from levels of poverty, how children are beginning to understand responsibilities, how families are assisting themselves in moving from the situations that they're in. But we want to bring back the dignity. I mean, we're all sick and tired of people having to stand out in the hot sun to be served and looking at the elderly coming and almost like if they have to beg. They don't have to beg. We have a responsibility.
Further, the minister says the government is looking to better adhere to international conventions.
We have some conventions that we must adhere to, and we have not been doing so. So you're going to see many changes, transportation. You're going to see us have in place the inspectorate and officers that are required to ensure that we're following the conventions. Of course, we have to ensure that violence against women and gender-based violence is looked at. And so you'll hear more about that and what we intend to do to implement our 10-point strategic plan in that area as well.
Some public workers are looking forward to promises made in the Prime Minister's recent budget communication. National Tripartite Commission President Sharon Martin says developments for public workers spell good news, and the teachers and nurses are well deserving.
These are professionals who really give us their best. And I think it's time that they are rewarded. They are very low paid at the moment. Their benefits are not that great.
Prime Minister Philip Davis says government has made provisions for funding to increase the salary of teachers and to pay a retention bonus to teachers and nurses. Martin says these benefits are long overdue.
I know the benefits that I fought for when I was president of the Union of Public Officers at NIB. And I can say that my janitresses and those staff had better benefits than these people. So it is high time that we see a movement towards making things better for them.
When Our News comes back from the break, the weather report is on the way. A doctor's hospital specialist says there is a link between heart disease and COVID-19. We have the details when Our News returns.
Got wireless dead zones at your house? How about endless buffering? Will you put the Wi-Fi password again? This is Aero. Aero is not just any Wi-Fi router. Rev customers get the first Wi-Fi system that covers every inch of your beautiful home, improving home coverage, higher speeds, high performance, and connectivity for up to 75 simultaneous devices. Arrow. So while you're streaming your favorite show on HBO Max, Arrow with Rev gives you the freedom to stay connected while you work, learn, and play at home.
Never think about Wi-Fi again with Arrow from Rev. Visit rev.bs/Arrow or call 601-8992 to make your Wi-Fi wishes come true.
This is Our News. Welcome back. Medical experts say if you suffer from heart issues, you should keep an eye on your COVID-19 risk factors. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sheena Antonio Colley says a doctor's hospital primary cardiologist conducted an analysis of COVID-19 and echocardiograms.
We also knew that a lot of patients developed clots or thrombus to the heart as a result of having COVID-19, and so would come back with heart attacks or strokes as their presentation for COVID-19, especially during the Delta variant. And it was definitely something that we saw. We were encouraging people who were already at risk for heart disease to see your doctor and protect yourself.
And if you have a family history of heart disease, Dr. Antonio Colley says you should take all necessary steps to protect yourself.
Keeping your blood pressure down, keeping your cholesterol under control, quitting smoking, decrease alcohol, become active, all of those things that would help heart disease are still necessary during the COVID time when we know that COVID-19 can accelerate heart disease. So definitely this is something that we've been very keenly interested in at Doctors Hospital.
Our Greg Thompson is coming up right after this break with the extended weather forecast. Stay tuned.
Got wireless dead zones at your house? How about endless buffering? Will you put the Wi-Fi password again?
This is Arrow.
Arrow is not just a new Wi-Fi router. Rev customers get the first Wi-Fi system that covers every inch of your beautiful home, improving home coverage, higher speeds, high performance, and connectivity for up to 75 simultaneous devices. Arrow. So while you're streaming your favorite show on HBO Max, Arrow with Rev gives you the freedom to stay connected while you work, learn, and play at home.
Never think about Wi-Fi again with Arrow from Rev. Visit rev.bs/Arrow or call 601-8992 to make your Wi-Fi wishes come true.
Welcome back to Our News. Here's Greg Thompson again in the Weather Center with the extended weather forecast.
Thanks again and welcome back everybody for our second look at weather. That ridge of high pressure beginning to slide out towards the east further into the Atlantic, but it is still in charge of our weather with some dry conditions as well as some slight breezy conditions across the southeast Bahamas. We expect that ridge to continue to move out. That's paving the way for a frontal boundary now across North Florida. Prefrontal trough ahead of that, swinging in between Grand Bahama and the Florida coast. Some showers and thunderstorms will affect the northwest Bahamas tonight, but as that frontal boundary sags towards central Florida overnight and into tomorrow, we could see an increase of some shower activity across the northwest and central Bahamas. We expect this frontal boundary to stall and will remain in place through the early part of next week. So we will continue to see some more showers and thunderstorms before this frontal boundary starts to weaken and dissipate. Boating conditions for the northwestern Bahamas tonight to tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the southeast to south at 10 to 15 knot, seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Low tide will be at 6:58 tonight for the southeast Bahamas, asking you boaters down to use some caution. Slightly weaker winds, southeast to east, 15 knots, but they will be gusty at times. Your seas will be running 3 to 5 feet, and they will be higher in gusts. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your 7-day forecast, looking at a couple of showers through tomorrow and into early portions of next week. But by the the middle of next week actually, we should see some increase in sunshine and precipitation chances will fall off. That is a look at our weather. Make sure you have a good evening and a safe weekend.
We thank you so much for joining us for our news on this Friday evening. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Until then, have a safe and wonderful evening.